and Dave Mather. Dave, we were just talking about something that I think we should probably start with. Honestly, you were crazy. You moved over to Syracuse basically just to play for the Red Hawks, right?
Yeah, I was getting ready for the was it 2019 Worlds. Needed a place to play. I had spent my getting. I got spent my time before the 2015 Worlds in BC, and I was frankly sick of crossing the border and needed to find a place I could live, work, and play all in one town. So I got to work for the University of Syracuse in their athletic department, and then play for the Onondaga Red Hawks. And yeah, I literally turned up to the locker room, barely knowing anybody. I think Bill O'Brien was the one guy I actually knew, and he was in and out of the locker room. But it was a crazy experience. Awesome people. They really took me in well. I like to say, like to brag that I had 7 invites to Thanksgiving one year. So it was a good time. They took good care of me.
Yeah, they are awesome out there, and it's Caden Rakes, right? I should have asked you how to pronounce it before we got live on the air. That would have made sense though. But so you were telling me you bounced around a little bit, but this was kind of your first year really full time playing goalie for WestRock.
Yeah, I spent my first season out in Paper City as a utility guy playing goalie and D when they really needed it. And I'm grateful for those boys out there. And then got traded last year halfway through to WestRock.
And that is was it completely different? You got to tell that story again. So how did the phone call go with you and Justin? I did love that.
So I was in the middle of working out at the gym. It was 4th of July weekend, and Charlie goes, "Hey, nothing against you. We want to get you some good reps and help you develop as a player, and we think you're ready and you put a lot of work in." So we traded you to the WestRock Warhogs. I was like, "Oh, all right." And my dad's next to me in the gym. He's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I just got traded." He's like, "Yeah, right." I'm like, "No, I just got traded." And then Otto calls me. He's like, "Yeah, we got a game tomorrow. I don't want to play goalie. I don't have a goalie. So, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, all right."
And what day was this? This wasn't just like any day of the week.
Oh, it was like a Saturday, 4th of July. I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, like a Saturday. So it's 4th of July. So you show up, you get to meet those guys. What was it like getting down there?
I was definitely just last minute notice. Book a hotel room in Stanford. Get down there, check into the hotel around 6:30 at night, and I'm like, "All right, this is my 4th of July. Look out the hotel room." And then I was like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yep, I just got here to the hotel." He's like, "All right, see you tomorrow morning." I arrived to the arena at like 9:30 in the morning, and then he's like, "You got pads?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right."
You got pads. I love how that's even a question that you would ask the goalie, but that is a cool. It's very expensive to get into. I mean, so when you committed to play from field to box, I mean, what was that commitment like? How was it stepping off from the field? Tell everybody where you played at college first, and then kind of like your decision to go play box.
So I spent my first 2 years in college at New England College, and then I transferred to Anna Maria. After my freshman year, I tried out for the Maine as a defenseman just to get some cardio in, and they were like, "Go to Paper City." But when I made the transition, I didn't have the goalie pads. The one thing I did have was hockey gloves. So I was like, okay. And then luckily, Charlie was grateful enough and believed in me. He gave me a size way too small for my body, goalie pads, and I just made it work.
Is that what you're still playing in today?
No, I got a set of Bodems in the Pro Series chest protector, luckily, right now. But last year in the Metro, you can go see the video on the WestRock. I'm still wearing the kitty pads in the game versus Call City. I was like, "Dude, drop some money." I'm like, "I don't got it. I'm a broke college kid, man."
Hook a brother up. Dave, you could talk to this. I mean, you've probably spent thousands and thousands. You probably could have bought a heck of a down payment on a house, maybe a nice vehicle with what you've spent on goalie pads. You've been playing box forever.
I'm famous for still wearing the same stuff that I've always worn. I got in trouble on Team USA a couple times for using my old Warrior Cryptolite shaft I used in high school. And they'd walk up and say, "Hey, Dave, you need to be in Warrior." And I pull it up and just barely left on the edge as Warrior. my leg pads are falling apart. My pants, my goalie pants are falling apart. I hope they make it through nationals at this point.
I love it. So you're on that end of the spectrum too. It is a very dedicated sport that not just any. I mean, because it costs everybody a bunch of money to travel around and play all this, but goalies are that extra level of. It's not cheap. You do got to get out of it what years and years of it, and it's really the biggest prohibitor I think of guys stepping in to goalie. I mean, you got to be pretty dedicated to get into that position unless somebody gives you a set of goalie pads that you can squeeze into.
Yeah, it's either that or the guys throwing balls at you at 90 miles an hour. One of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't handle that. I naturally I'm gonna flinch. I'm gonna close my eyes. There's no way I'm. You guys are a different breed of humans, Steve, and want to endure that. I would say.
Hmm.
But so we were talking a little bit before the show. So you get down there, you start playing. You got to play against Deej, who's been playing forever. You were saying you still had the kitty pads on, and unfortunately, Collar City didn't end up getting it together for a team this year, which meant Deej didn't have anywhere to play. But it's really cool to see. It's one of my favorite parts about the league. You know, you've got guys playing. Deej is almost 60 years old, getting to play against you in your first year, and then kind of talk to you afterwards. What were you guys talking about?
It was just more of, you got a good team surrounding you. You got a good support system in Otto, and the guys that are on this team, I've known some of them for a while. I played against some of them. He goes, don't get discouraged. You played a great game. He goes, just work on the small things and let it take its course. You got the size, you got the heart and the effort, so just it'll come to you naturally.
Yeah. The what is the biggest difference from, I mean, other than holding the stick upside down, obviously, but from playing box goalie to field goalie as far as your position and your angle? Are you how does that change from one to the other?
I mean, it's a lot different in my eyes. I got to deal with people shooting not just at my hips, my chest. I got to protect above me at all times and also be able to handle the pressure. There's more space and bouncers that are a lot higher or a lot lower.
Yeah. So just tons more room. But I mean, as far as do you take a stance where you're similar to staying on the goal line, or because of that, do you step farther out and try to take more of an angle in field?
In field, I try to make myself look as big, low, because I'm a tall goalie compared to most goalies in D3. But in box, I just try to make myself look as big as I can, just width wise.
Yeah. So. That DJ I thought did that amazingly too. He was like a cobra, I call him. Like you'd see him, somebody get ready to shoot, and he would just like swell up. He was really good at that. I called it the King Cobra. Dave, you might have an actual name for it.
I don't know if I have a name for it, but yeah, that's a big part of the game. Even deter shooters from taking a shot by getting big. It's huge.
Yeah, no, that's something I wouldn't even think about. I just watch you guys, and I still can't fathom how you guys even step in the way of that. I'd get hit in the head once with the ball, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm done. See you later. That goalie cage is not enough protection for me. I'm out. But so you get playing this year. How did this year go? Your first year, full season as a goalie for the NABLL. What would you recommend to anybody else who's in that position, who maybe wants to step into your shoes?
I'd say do it. I'd say don't be afraid. You can't go wrong. This league's amazing. It's given me every opportunity in lacrosse, and it's developed me for college, developed me for Team Greece, developed me through and out every day. I mean, the way we prepare for practice, the way we prepare for games as a team, it just made me better all around.
So you played Team Greece at Laxny?
Yes.
And what was that experience like?
It was awesome. I didn't think I'd get the opportunity, and when I got asked if I would want to do it, I didn't hesitate. And playing in that tournament was awesome for my development as a goalie. I saw a lot of shots throughout the days, and I learned a lot from other goalies and other players, and made a lot of connections.
Yeah, no, it's all about seeing the shots. Dave, how do you only play with the Kings, or do you play pickup? Where do you get extra shots from?
I'm at a point in my career where I'm limiting the number of shots I'm taking. It's slowing down a lot. We play Kings. I played in the Montana League last year. I played in the ALL for a few years before that, but it's even warm-ups. It's down to like 10, 15 minutes at most. I get a good stretch, feel loose, and it's like riding a bike at this point.
Yeah. How long have you been playing box goalie for now?
I started when the Stealth were in Washington, so I think it was fall of 2010, my junior year. Lewis Radcliffe started the Stealth Academy, which was like 6 hours every weekend, 6 teams. You do an hour practice, an hour scrimmage, and we learned a lot. There's a lot of players on our team that are left over from that, whether they were the Kiwis that I was coaching or a couple of guys that I played with on that high school team, which won the first ever U.S. Boxing Nationals. That's when I kicked it off. Next summer, I was up in Canada playing junior A for Coquitlam. I mean, it's when you're starting a youth program, you really need good goaltending, or else guys aren't going to learn what a real shot looks like. It devolves into field lacrosse in a box space, and guys taking rips down the alley that are going in, and you need a good goalie to teach to punish the shooters for taking bad shots. And so Lewis really wanted me to stick around. I would be out there for 6 hours a weekend, playing all 3 sessions. He'd shoot on me every chance he gets in between, and anyone who knows Radcliffe knows he didn't take a mile per hour off those balls. He loves to score goals. He doesn't care who it's on. So that was a big help for getting me started, learning at a young age. I was wearing my hockey chest protector from midgets and $75 Warrior goalie pads. So even with my size, it made me get athletic and figure out how to make saves. And I've been running with it ever since. I took a couple years off after the first World Championships. I couldn't get a call back from anyone in an NLL team after starting for Team USA as a 22-year-old. And so I was a bit frustrated, didn't really know where to go next. So I just kind of took some time off. I played a couple years of rugby, which was awesome. And then got a call from Team USA again saying, putting together a team. I know you're not playing, but we kind of need you to. And that's kind of what sparked me to go back to Syracuse and dive back into the game again. And I'm really happy I did.
Yeah, no, I am too. I mean, we wouldn't have met you, and it's been
Yeah.
I mean, Onondaga has really helped so many people build their lacrosse career. Really, without Onondaga, we wouldn't be here. Ron invited us to do that.
Mhm.
Got us in the Can-Am and really got us involved in doing a lot of stuff, which was awesome. So, yeah, shout out to Onondaga for being great ambassadors of the game. So, I keep wanting to call you Rick because I look up at it. But, Caden, when did you start playing lacrosse? Did you start playing as a young guy? Was it high school?
I played my first year ever in 5th grade for South Boston Youth. And then I took about 2 years off. And then I went into high school as a 7th grader and played it ever since then.
So 7th grade, you started way before I did. Paul loves it. He says, "Big Dave, you rocked the house in Utica." You did when we were out there. It was a blast. The Nationals for Lax and I, that was cool for me to get to watch you out there too, because you were up there talking with us. Now you got the Team USA jersey on. I'm sure you must have been. That's got to be fun. And then to watch go and make that save heard around the world. That was crazy. Team USA. Yeah, that was nuts to really, I don't even know who the photographer was that caught that picture, but man, kudos to them for getting the ball right on his fingertips. That was
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was the last cut from the team, but the way the tournament worked out, I don't think I would have seen a minute. So I'm not, no offense, not too sad I didn't have to spend 2 weeks in Utica in a hotel room. But I was watching from the couch with my fiance, and she told me I needed to calm down a couple times during the game, but I think she needed to calm down.
Oh man, yeah, that is amazing. I mean, it's got to be crazy to watch it too, and you guys are just out there playing with so many of those guys, and you've played with them, before. And kudos to the NABLL for letting everybody put things together, because without each division being able to set it up. So this is Caden, shine some light onto it. You guys do weekend group games essentially.
Yeah. It's usually one team will host it and 3 teams will go down and play. The home team will have a doubleheader. So we played the first week. We played against Philly and the Sharks. And then the following weekend we were in Long Island and we played against the Sharks and Philly. And then we played Jersey back-to-back weekends with both teams.
Yeah. So how far of a trip is it for you to get all the way down to Long Island or Jersey? That's got to be a
It took me about 5.5 hours that Friday.
dedicated.
It's awesome. I mean, I wouldn't trade it in for the world. Scenic, beautiful intake.
Yeah. So how was the when you get down to Long Island? Goldberg, somebody who I've gotten to see, he's played Can-Am like similar to Dave, where really that top level of U.S. box lacrosse. I think so. I mean, what is it like to get to play against some of those guys and really see the IQ level that is down there?
I'd say right away. I mean, Long Island's like Maryland. They're one of the best to do it every year. They've produced some of the best beasts in lacrosse. I mean, you call it the Beast Coast or the East Coast when you see those guys in Maryland. And then you got the guys from the West Coast in California. But getting down there, you're seeing John Mulaney, you're seeing Connor Atkinson at his best in that. You're seeing Goldberg really wanting to compete and win. And those guys will do anything to win. I mean, that's what it is for us now. We want to beat those guys every week. But just seeing the way Goldberg plays, the way he's able to make certain plays happen, the way he's able to teach the game while he's playing to his teammates, and how he's able to pick up young guys who've not understood the sport that well. It's really cool to see. And the same thing with Otto. I mean, you put those two on the court, it's always a battle. They always go at each other. They always know, I want to win. This is what I'm going to do to win. And you see the best IQ rub off on each other.
Yeah, and Otto does a great job down there too. He's got all kinds of kids programs and teams coming and going, like from all different age groups. So, yeah, big shout out to Justin for getting all that stuff done. The New Jersey team was new. Long Island's the second year team. Philly has been around for since I've been around the sport. I think Dave, were they? Do you know if they were an IBLA team?
The Mustangs?
Yeah.
No, there was other teams in Philly though. I think the Mustangs were newer to the IBLA.
Okay, so they were right into NABLL essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So we will definitely have to talk with them soon. Congratulations to them as they won the division. But so how do you guys do your championship games then? Did you guys take the 1-4 play, or how did that work out?
So the fourth place team gets eliminated. So Jersey didn't play. And then first place gets an automatic bid to the championship game.
Okay, so 2 and 3. All right, so 2 and 3 play. And where did 2 and 3 play? Did you guys do it on the same weekend, different weekend?
Same day.
Same day. You guys are getting ready for nationals. You got to be able to run at nationals. That is one thing I will say. The home and home I love because it's the party atmosphere. You get the fans coming in. It's more of an event. But for nationals, what gets you in more national shape? You're almost better off having those. I mean, a lot of these guys play so much and they play in these tournaments all the time. They're pretty much used to it. But yeah, that playing 2 games in one day. So you guys were first going in?
Yeah, we beat the Sharks on Long Island. So we had to wait for Philly to beat them, which they did. So we took first, and then Philly and Long Island played in the semifinals.
And what was that game like? Because you guys are watching it, and unfortunately, they didn't live up to their stats, so I didn't get to see the score of that one.
Watching it, we thought it was very even. A lot of back and forth, up and down. But the minute Philly started pushing transition, and the Sharks were limited with numbers for the weekend, you saw a lot of pull-away goals for Philly.
Gotcha. A lot of athletes, they can run.
Yeah, they're a heavy transition team. That's something I'd watch for, especially going into nationals. Whoever pulls them, they're going to look to send 2 or whatever they can do in transition.
So, I mean, that's it really, everybody in box lacrosse is telling me they're going faster. Like when I talk to all the GMs and every team, everybody's goal is to get younger and faster. I think that transition is such a big part because if you can catch an offensive guy out here, and I will say one thing about the NABLL is we do have the occasional guy who might not want to run back and play defense. So if you can, I know, find it hard to believe, Dave, but there might be 1 or 2 guys that think they only have to score goals and jog off. But it's you start pushing transition, and especially it's why I was so surprised that the Reapers didn't come out of their division again. I've seen them in nationals. I know it's a tough travel for them a lot, but they are fast and they're very athletic. So to see Oak City down there doing what they're doing this year has been pretty exciting. You guys are always a pretty young team. I don't get a ton of chances to watch the Warhogs, but so what was the core of your team? Like what was your team identity this year?
I'd say we had a lot of young returners who had a lot of experience, and then we had a handful of seasoned veterans. So, I mean, you look at Otto, Blanco, who's played for the Moon Bears off and on his career, and Dan Rivy, who plays for Team Puerto Rico. Those guys, they knew how to lead and how to give us better opportunities on defense for me to see the ball and for our offense to push transitions and have great scoring opportunities. And the young guys we had step up, like PJ Cunningham on offense. He was the first year guy for us. He was lights out. First game, 4 goals, I think, and 2 assists, like just over the top. But,
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough to it's what's cool about this league though is I know most of the teams have a handful of core guys like that, and then you bring in all this young talent and you're teaching so many guys box. It really takes 3 or 4 years before you start to see that IQ kind of like gel in the guy, especially defense. So I was talking to Stamper about it once, and I asked why goal scoring is so much higher at the beginning of the NLL season versus the end. And I said, is it the goalies are seeing it better? And he said it was the defense. He said because it's way more communication on defense with slides, knowing what your goalie wants. So I mean, is that something you guys are really, I'm sure, getting better at as this young team is going forward?
I mean, yeah, there's always changes in and out of lineups in the NABLL, obviously. But one thing I try to communicate to my defensemen is drop in right away and then mark up if we're playing man. If not, we're giving them kind of a small zone look, 3 up high, 2 down low. Drop in, build it up high, and kind of press out a little bit more, and then slide early and slide fast. Because the minute they get under you, it's either going to be a dunk on me or someone's trying to get some off-speed shot on me.
Yeah. So how do you adjust for essentially like because you get to see a lot of shots in practice, but what do you do on the outside to get yourself ready from like going side to side at the crease? Is that something you really had to focus on? Because that backdoor look, you're going over to the save. You don't. It's not like you really see it. You're kind of getting over there and knowing where you have to be. How do you practice that as a young guy? Like, what do you do to get yourself into that muscle memory thing?
I watched a lot of hockey goalie growing up, so I try to play it like Tim Thomas, sadly, but I think it still works for me. I do the one leg push off and just try to get my chest and my shoulder over there with my arm off my hip and just throw my whole body over that way.
For a bit, I think I still try to do it. I try to get real close, but still stay behind it. Just take a little bit of speed off my step. So, but still time to close out by the time the shot gets there. But instead of selling out for me, I'm really trying to get eyes on it. Like you said, it's tough to see. I had one get scored on me this last weekend that I just did not. I didn't see an inch of. Like it was past the middle. There's 2 guys in front of me. You shoot through the traffic. I never even saw the guy who shot it. But those are tough.
Yeah, it is tough, and I mean, especially as you're getting to know guys. Like Dave, you've got a pretty good group of guys. You've been playing together for a while. Like, how long has your core been together for? Like, quite a while, right?
Our core is really changing. A lot of the guys I grew up with. That was a big part of coming home for me was getting the chance to play with the guys that I learned the game with. But I mean, life happens. Kids moving away, jobs. We're really turning into a lot of guys come from the University of Washington, which is a better field program than people think. They're starting to, it's clicking for them. We have some great athletes. We had Liam Ronan, who played for the University of Washington. He went up and played senior A ball all year on defense. Got invited back the next summer too, which is awesome for him. I think the core really built our culture and our systems into the team, and we've done a well enough job to transition to where those still exist. And we still play that same style of game. We've made some adjustments, but they're starting to leave. It's looking around the locker room is less and less guys. But it's awesome to see it grow. I mean, our slogan's long live. We want this thing to last forever. So we need to have that transition to these younger guys. And yeah, hopefully we can land it the right way and keep the process going. But process. That's a process we'll have to do forever.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunately nobody plays the sport forever. I mean, Neil Powell still makes it look easy. He's out there at 50 years old scoring hat tricks some games, and you're like, what are you doing, Neil?
The
But
legend.
yeah, there is guys like that, but no, it's a young man's sport, and really, I think more and more you see. There's not a lot of detransition guys that play forever. It seems like you can get a lot of goalies, a lot of offensive guys that can kind of find ways to make it play forever. It really seems like the hardest guys to fill are those constant athletes that are sacrificing everything, running out there, being crazy, like Lightning Leota, McDonald. Like I know a lot of the Yeti guys, and Nate's got a kid that came from Alex Bay, a local kid, Thousand Island. Shout out to them. But yeah, man, Petrus I think is his last name, Zero. But I've been this year I noticed him. I've seen him play in defense, and you can tell like the box IQ and everything is really clicking this year for him. And man, is he fun to watch! And to watch that development of these guys is my favorite spot. And I mean, you guys have the best view in the house and a goalie. So down there, Caden, do you guys have a consistent like 5-6 guys you know are going to be at every game defense in front of you, or is your defensive roster changing that much?
Our defense doesn't really change much throughout this like game days, but going into practice, you'll see a lot of new faces coming in, guys who want to give it a chance, and then just they can't do it that weekend because of a job, which gotta make money, and that's life. But they sometimes sprinkle in. I'd say Otto does a really good job of putting the best D guys out there who know what they're doing, who can teach on the fly and help us adjust to things that we need to adjust on the go.
Yeah, communication's got to be such a huge part of it. Are you one of these guys that's screaming it out? Because like when Dave's playing, you're gonna hear him from the broadcast booth. Like I know when he's playing, I don't have to wait. And it's so funny because whenever you talk to him, he's very, very quiet and soft spoken, really. But you hear him out on the floor. Are you a screamer? D just does it as well too. I hear him all the time.
Yeah, I think definitely the other team can vouch. I'm very vocal. I'm also very competitive, so sometimes I'll toss a chirp in here or there, or I'll tell Goldberg probably a nice turnover, but that's usually it.
Yeah, I mean, chirping it, that is such a part of the game, though. It really is because so the shooter goalie thing, so much of it is mental, guys kind of predicting where they're going to go, tendencies. You played against these guys. I mean, yeah, it is an interesting part. Dave, you ever a chirper, or do you kind of leave that alone? It would surprise me if you were a chirper.
Oh, you should have seen me in juniors. I would be screaming across the floor at guys, and it's funny. Like, there's guys I've run into later in life that's like we hated each other for years, and now it's like, oh, how's the kid? What's going on? I think getting up to seniors and making that transition kind of humbles you a bit. You're playing some of the best in the world at the position, and in juniors, young hot-headed shooters, you can get in their head. And I like to think that those shooters go back to their tendencies. When they get heated, they just try to shoot it harder at that spot, and that was something I really tried to do, and spent a lot of time watching film and learning everything, and it was a big help for me in my career then. But you get to a certain age, and as an adult, I mean, some of the best players in the world, you got a 21-year-old, 22-year-old kid yelling at you, it doesn't exactly get you hot. That kind of killed it quickly for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's interesting because there's some guys that do it. There's some goalies we notice that do it more than others. Most of the goalies are usually pretty reserved. I notice there's some guy. It's just like Vince. Like Vince is very protective of the crease. You don't ever hear him chirping, but anybody dives in, I don't even think he attempts to make the save. He's just like cross-checking you for coming through his crease. Yeah.
The rules nowadays I don't think protect goalies enough. Like there's times you get put in the position where you have to choose between making a save and putting your knee at risk. And I'm at an age where I'm not making that save anymore. But yeah, if you can just deter them away from it. One of my last Team USA games I got was against England, and I think Trevor Baptiste might have put a guy into me more than he dove into me. But I bounced his head off the turf a couple times, and then turned around and mean mugged the entire Haudenosaunee team. And it was a highlight for me for sure. But my buddy Chris O'Doherty was coming in. He was like, I was about to dummy that guy, but it really seemed like he had it.
It really seemed like that was all under control.
Yeah. That I won't lose. The tripping may have left, but you're still not going to come into my crease.
Still not coming into the crease. I love it. So, what was it? How do you make that decision as you're a young goalie getting in? Where do you stand as far as like just as it's all coming at you so fast? How do you take it all in?
I mean, I've always been told by my goalie coach, well, my first goalie coach was always stay square to the shooter. Don't let him see anything. And then also just trust your body, trust your instincts. So if I see someone diving, like I know John Kwan, he's really, really good at on the crease stuff, spin moves, diving across. I know he's not coming across my face. He's going up and around. So I'll try to throw my body more out at a 45-degree angle and try to soak that shot. But if it's some young kid who's trying to do a dunk, I'll probably throw my body around once in a while and just send a message, be like, you're not doing that today. Or ball goes behind the crease and I see him try to one-hand scoop, and I'm trying to break his wrist in a sense.
I get what you're saying. Putting it out there. So Can-Am changed the rules this year. I was wondering what do you think about that, Dave? As you talked about, they don't protect the goalies as much. So they did change it now where they mirror the NLL crease rules. And like you guys, and I honestly think the NABLL had a lot to do with that because your guys' highlights were just looking cooler with the dunks.
Yeah, I mean, there's dunks are fun, and there's a way to dive. It's just about taking an angle and coming across the crease rather than straight on. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the fix is. I like the dunks. I like the dives, and you know, it's part of it. And I feel like it's a skill of mine too. So
Yeah.
I don't mind the NLL rules.
Yeah. No, I like the I like it. I like how it's set up. For me, it's way better for highlights. I can say that. The crease dives, and like I had a sweet one of Nana Coke going across and just getting it around Chase Martin. So that has got to be the hardest thing I would think is how you see that shot there with the blocker. I would be tempted to turn my hand around like a glove and just catch it. I'm sure you'd only do that once and it hurt like crazy, but
Yeah, 17 years old in front of the entire Stealth team. I didn't know the rules. I caught it going back to my hockey days and looked up at them like, this legal? And they were all sitting there just wildly impressed, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. Track it's about learning like tendencies again, and most shooters have the same ones when they're coming across. I mean, it's guys like Curtis Dixon, when you watch them, are so good about changing planes, where they'll dive at one angle, they'll fake you low, and then next thing you know, it's up and over your shoulder. There's, I think, a real skill set to that for guys who can come up with more creative dives. It's not just about getting to the far side of the net when the goalies are good.
yeah. No, that's huge. I think Maloney was amazing at that, his creativity. Honestly, I think that's the one benefit you see from like when you go to a Haudenosaunee community or up to Canada where they've been playing box from, you have to be so creative with your stick to score goals versus field players. Like you were talking about earlier, there's so much more room. You have to make yourself look big. You're worried about any bounce shot is tough to tackle. Yeah, learning the angles and everything, whereas the shooters have to be they got to be pretty precise usually to get it by you guys.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fun to watch because you don't really, any more goals in a game, it'd be too much like basketball. Like, it just works out good. I like that right around 10 goals a team. And that's, if you can keep the away team under 10 goals, I look at your offense better get 10. That's just my, from the broadcast booth perspective.
That's straight out of the Onondaga locker room, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, that's probably why I have that tendency in mind. They're like, you guys better get it in transition. You're going to be 3 of those 10 goals, so let's get it together.
The most fun I ever had was playing with Coquitlam Junior A, where we were allowed 3 goals a game. That was fun. That was a great defense.
Yeah, that's impressive. 3 goals a game. It's
unreal.
Yeah. How many shutouts have you seen in your time? Not even that you've had, but like, have you seen with all your years?
I'm struggling to remember one. There's just so many shots, so many opportunities, and one's going to squeak by. Yeah, I don't know if I have.
I think I've seen one, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember. Yeah, it was a very. I think it was one of those where like it was a very low. The team had like 8 guys that they were playing against. It was. Yeah, big eyes east to west is what Paul says in the chats for the dive. Get you guys moving, going east to west.
You could try.
You could try. Uh, do you guys now? When you practice, you guys have the you play in a real ice rink though. You guys have a full facility, right? You're not one of these teams that has to like turn sideways so you're fitting it in. You guys actually play in like a regular hockey rink.
Yeah, we use the Dorothy Hamill rink out of Greenwich, Connecticut, or we use Manamarak up in Westchester County. And they've been nothing but great to us. We get there about an hour before practice, start shooting around, and then once practice is ready to go, it's full blown.
Full blown. It's huge being able to play on a real facility too, instead of especially for a goaltender. It must help you set your angles and stuff and learn. So you've only played on the big nets. You've never played with smaller nets, right?
Playing pickup, I've used smaller nets. Like, I mean, we had a Wednesday night league for Paper City, and we didn't have 2 full blown nets, and it was a small arena. But I'm not really worried about the net. I'm just trying to play and learn as much as I can.
Well, I just didn't know how hard it was. Dave could probably speak to it better. Switching between the two sizes, is it? I mean, you're talking. It's 3 inches, right? So you got basically a ball width on each side of you.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. Going from the transition from junior A to the NLL or senior A to NLL is hard. It's your angles are totally different. The way you got to play it's totally different. I mean, I like the fact that we have the full size net, and like the last 3 years I've been only playing on a full size net and with the small and stick rather than the woody, and it's made a huge difference to my game just to have that ability to be continuously getting better with my 5-hole rather than switching it back and forth. You know, the year I played in the President's Cup with Onondaga, I was at NLL camps like 3 weeks later, and there was no time for me to get that fixed. The tendency of switching back and forth is hard. Even going the other way, the first year in the IBLA, we played in Everett behind us. We had 4x4 nets, and for the first half of the year, I was not that good. I'd try to stand in the net like it was a 4x4 9, and next thing you know, I'm out of position and the ball's going in, and I finally figured out just to stick my butt in the net and fill the whole thing, and that worked really well. But it's hard to switch back and forth and try to make it work. I like having more consistency, which is one thing we're providing.
Yeah. So have you ever played with a wooden wall, Caden, or have you only played with a spoon, right?
I've only played with a spoon, and I've never used a long shaft. I've only used a short, believe it or not.
Is it shorter than the net? Do you ever get caught up in the net?
It's shorter than the net. I've never really gotten caught up. I usually try to go down. So, I mean, it's probably about halfway between my ankle and my foot and somewhere up down off the ground, but I just try to bury it in my elbow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've watched one goalie get us stuck in the net once. I thought that was kind of funny, but watching you notice how many goals that wooden 5-hole stops. So having that big wooden wall in the Can-Am, boy, it is such an advantage because you see these guys that are all, especially the top of the 5-hole. That was where I really noticed the difference. Is it seemed like the top of the 5-hole closes up a lot more.
Yeah, that's still where you got to shoot though when they're shooting on a woody. You got to find spaces between the knees and the stick and hope it bounces around. But it's not just if you're a transition D guy, hammer at 5-hole and pray. You gotta put a little more skill into your shot to score on those summer goalies.
Yeah. So having different levels of shots is such a big thing. Where do you, I guess, Caden, when you first started switching and playing goalie full time, do you do anything besides facing shooters? Do you like throw it behind your head, spin around fast and see it, or you just straight up try to have guys shooting at you? I'm curious to see like what can you do when you don't have somebody shooting on you, I guess.
I try to do wall ball. I try to usually put on my lower the lower pads, like my pants and my leg pads, and I just stand in the net, one bounce. Or I usually try to just find my arc and have someone just roll a ball if I have a shooter. If not, I'm just trying to visualize. I think, a big part of the goalie world is they say it's 75% mental, 85% mental. The rest is what you physically can do. When it comes to game preparation, I try to watch a lot of film, or I try to watch a lot of NLL goalies, and it helps me a lot seeing how those guys move and how they just stand there and soak it, or how they're throwing outlet passes to certain players.
The different styles is always, I think, crazy. I'm going to put you on the spot with this one first, Dave. Favorite NLL goalie right now to watch?
Right now. Shoot.
So I'd have to say last year. We'll count Del Bianco because you like Frank?
Skiggs. Yeah, Frankie. He's playing in BC just a couple years in front of me. One of my best friends up there. It's his cousin, and I've always tried to model my game after him a bit. He really choked down on his stick recently. Choked down his stick recently, and it's been it inspired me to do the same thing, just to have a little bit more control. You got to be a little more athletic to do it, but I like it.
Yeah, I do love Sigliano. Honestly, though, it's the whole reason that team made it to the playoffs this year. So you definitely, I think, made a good choice. So we got to ask, jersey length. Does your jersey go to your knees? One, you know how big of a jersey you'd have to get to go down to Dave? How tall are you, Dave?
I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
My belly hangs out more than it goes to my knees. I think a perfect jersey has got to have just enough length underneath the armpit that it can stop a ball. Doesn't have not talking about a bat wing, but just a little material there.
Just a little help you with the armpit save.
Just a little help.
Yeah.
But yeah, never worn a skirt length jersey.
So keep it above. All right. So Caden, who is your favorite NLL goalie to watch?
Oh, either Matt Vink or James or Dougie. Dougie's really good to watch.
Yeah, I do like Dougie. He's changed a lot of things. He lost some weight, wasn't doing so great, but now he seems to get his stride. He should have stayed a little heavier. He might feel healthier, but he was a better goalie when he had like that extra 30 pounds on, I think. But he's figured it out. I don't know. Del Bianco for me is my favorite, but it's just because that pass he has is such an asset. I mean, he's a phenomenal goalie, super athletic. But to watch that transition pass he has out is just such a, I think you're going to look back at him someday and just be like, yeah, the way he did it was different than most guys. Or maybe everybody designs themselves to do it. But I don't know. That's a super athleticism, and that's where that physicality comes in. I think goalie's 95% mental, though. You guys are all, like, to be able to, bad things happen. Like, you let up a goal, now you have to just automatically be like, nope, I'm right back into this. And, like, yeah, there's so much of that, and even just knowing where your guys are, because as Del Bianco's popping up, he's got to know where that guy is. Like, gonna be, not where he is right now. He's already throwing that, and he does it with the spoon. I think he does it the best. But yeah, Vince
he does it with the Woody too. I promise you that.
Oh yeah, Dougie. Yeah, Dougie with the Woody is fun. I honestly Slade. Probably Edmund Gathers is probably he's the best I've ever seen throw the Woody, outlet pass. And unfortunately, I haven't watched him play in the last couple of years. I don't know what his deal is, but hopefully we see him again at some point. And he's been playing offense. He came down and was running on the floor. I'm like, what are you doing, bud? You're so much fun to watch as a goalie, and he does throw that Woody around fast.
He's a goal scorer, man. Dangerous out there.
Yeah, he is. That's the thing though, is most of those native guys, they're not position players. They're just lacrosse players. They play everything. I mean, it's all positions. You get every D transition guy on those can score goals. It's nuts, really, when you go through that.
Yeah. Spend enough time with your stick, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so what was the your field stick? You don't play with your same field stick, right? And in box, or you using the same one? You just cut the shaft off a little bit, called it good.
No, I use the same goalie shaft I've had in the same head. I have a East Coast Die Impact, and I have an Impact shaft, and I've had it since it came out, and haven't looked back, haven't changed it, haven't gone to re-strong. I've just been rocking with it.
Just rocking it straight up. That's awesome. That's consistency, though. I mean, so like Dave says, you don't have to worry about trying to do some different things. I mean, is there yeah. So other than if you're going to go play in the MSL, is that big wooden stick? Who else uses it? Because Lax and I, they can't use it, right?
No, it's all CLA really. But outside of that, I think they're the only ones right now.
Yeah. Smaller nets, bigger sticks. Yeah, no. The NABLL is coming for them. It's not going to be long before everybody's watching our stuff instead. Because although I do like 3 periods, I got to ask you, Dave, as a guy who's played both 3 periods, 4 quarters.
That's tough. I'd say the biggest thing I care about with timing is the TV timeouts in NLL and World Games. They're amazing. Just
That's,
playing
that's what freaking Goa said to me too. He goes, I like 4 quarters with TV timeouts. He goes,
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, you're onto something with that 10-minute break, 3rd period. But yeah, TV timeouts, that's where it's at.
The just mentally going into a period, like knowing that I just have to get through 5 minutes, and then I get to reset and sort it out rather than being stuck on your island for 20-30 minutes waiting for a period or a quarter to end. That's TV timeouts are amazing. We had them 1 year in our NABL North, and it was so inconsistent. No one would remember. We'd just skip them sometimes, and the next thing you know, we're 3 minutes left in the quarter. We haven't even we would only do one, but we was like, are we really going to call this, or are we just going to get to the end now?
Yeah, there's 3 minutes left, guys. Let's go. Yeah, Paul's obviously a big Vince fan. He's in the chat saying Matt. He's and it's hard to argue against him when you watch the way he plays. He's a freak athlete too, though. I saw him in a yeah. He looks like a mini Hulk. Like when you watch him walk by you, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Like for him to do this at his age and in the way that he's doing, it's probably a big reason why he's able to is how much time he puts in the gym, how much he takes care of his body. That's why he's still here. But I mean, you look around the league and there's not many people doing it like that, and it's really impressive.
And taking summers off.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he didn't play last summer, and I don't think he's played anywhere this summer.
Good for him.
Yeah, I think he's just coaching. I think he actually coaches is it one of his kids or something? But yeah, he's just
I bet that's awesome. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, and then just to show up and play for the Bandits, just the confidence to be like, I'm gonna not play this. I'm sure he's taking shots from some guys, but like to be like, I'm not gonna play consistently all summer, and then I'm gonna go throw my gear on and be the GOAT. Like that's just insane to me.
Like riding a bike, you know.
Yeah.
Go his age like fine wine.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, you shorten the warm ups, you learn different tricks. There is certain things to it. There's so much muscle memory, but then you watch him in the finals out there stacking the pads, and you're like, this guy's freaking 40 years old. Like, what are you doing?
It's insane.
It is absolutely insane, and we are actually past our 45-minute time that we always shoot for on these already. It's I tell you, it always flies by. Everybody's like, I don't know if I could talk for an hour. I'm like, well, don't worry, I'll talk a lot, and it'll fly. But so Caden, I gotta say the biggest thing that you've noticed with the NABLL now that you've played one full year, one team goalie, what is it that it's basically where you're getting most of your time, and then you were able to play for Team Greece and Laxny?
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
It was awesome. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for you guys even just talking to me tonight. I know our season ended sadly in the way that we didn't want it to, but I think there's definitely a lot to improve on and a lot of high notes that we can take out of this past weekend in the season.
Yeah, I would say if the main starting goaltender is really in his first year as a full-time goaltender, you guys had a pretty good year, and there's a lot of upside as you get better because, like he says, they age like fine wine, Dave, right?
That's absolutely right.
But I mean, it's one of those positions you see like Holding up in Holding or Holden up in Grand River, Dave.
I
think it's Holden.
Right. If you asked me 2 minutes ago, I would have told you I knew it.
Now I put you on the spot. Sorry. Yeah, but anyways, he's another one of those. He's up there playing. Him and Deej were playing for the oldest goaltender at nationals every year, and it's not like, oh man, it's a handicap for the team. I mean, these guys are really getting after it. So it is one of those positions that if you play it smart, you can play forever. Where are you guys at in your season?
We got our last regular season game. Pardon me. Coming up this weekend against Bremerton. We'll play our regional game and then head off to nationals, hopefully.
hopefully heading off to nationals. It's been some close games. I think the parity in this league's getting better as I look around the scoreboard. You see these games getting closer and closer. Metro, I mean, that's a perfect example right there. They were sitting on top. They lost to the Mustangs. The New England division's all over the place. That Oneida Spirits game, if nobody watched that, get over on to Thousand Islands. It doesn't start till the second quarter, but man, what a game! Just back and forth, goals, actions. Yeah, it was, and into overtime. You couldn't ask for a better game. It was crazy. And then all of that happens, and then they ended up they shut Oneida out in overtime, and that's where I think nationals. You got to have young, fast, talented kids.
You gotta get off to a hot start there, definitely, with the time too.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm going to call you Rick again. Caden, if anybody wants to find you on social media, where do they get a hold of you?
Instagram, it's official Caden, and then same on, Instagram, Twitter, official Caden, and then just Caden Rakes on Facebook.
And if anybody thinks they can score on him, get a hold of Justin Otto, get down to practice for the Warhogs, try yourself out. And Dave, where's the best place for everybody? Well, you've got a couple different things. You got the Kings, but you also are the coordinator. You do like the official documents and stuff as far as making sure everybody's on the same page. So official questions would go to coordinator at NABLL, right?
Great. Yeah, anything coming in, it's a big help. It's a big challenge to get as much visibility on all these teams as we can and all these games. A lot of things go missed if we don't hear about them. So yeah, please reach out. Please let us know how things are going when issues come up. Instagram, the first one's pretty dead at this point, but Seattle.Kings is where you can follow the team. We'd love to have you guys out.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We will see you next week. We've got Jobson on, and the board member is always a surprise. So it'll be a surprise board member on with Nathan Jobson from the Thousand Island Spirit. See you guys next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.